This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Monday, March 17th. A bit of a warm-up on the way for the Dallas-Fort Worth area today with a high of 85. It will be breezy this afternoon, turning mild and cloudy this evening with a low of 59. Here are today's headlines. A massive blaze broke out at a recycling plant in West Dallas Sunday afternoon, sending a plume of black smoke into the air that was visible for miles. Dallas fire rescue units began responding to the incident at about 3:43 p.m. after receiving a 911 call about the fire at the plant, located at 4141 Singleton Boulevard. When firefighters arrived at the large commercial facility, they found heavy fire at the site and a thick column of black smoke coming from behind the location. When contacted Sunday evening by the Dallas Morning News, a person who answered the phone confirmed the building was occupied by Metropolitan Recycling, and crews were at the location attempting to determine what caused the blaze. The person declined to answer additional questions before abruptly hanging up the phone. As a precaution, Dallas Fire Rescue's HazMat team was called to the scene. However, they confirmed that no hazardous materials were involved in the fire. In other news, on Saturday, Gateway Church held its first weekend service since its founder and former senior pastor, Robert Morris, was indicted last week. Morris, a celebrity televangelist who founded Gateway in 2000, was charged with 5 counts of indecent or lewd acts to a child and faces up to 100 years in prison if convicted on all charges, according to the Oklahoma Attorney General. Cindy Clemishire publicly accused Morris in June of sexually abusing her from the ages of 12 through 17. Morris has not responded to letters and at least 5 phone calls from the Dallas Morning News since June seeking comment. The news called 3 phone numbers listed in public records for Morris on Wednesday and left voicemails at 2 of them and did not receive a response. At Gateway on Saturday, worship leaders urged the audience to focus on God. Next up, a man was in police custody after a hit-and-run collision involving pedestrians Saturday evening in Garland that left one teenager dead and another with serious injuries. The crash occurred just after 10:15 p.m. near the intersection of East Oates Road and Miami Drive. Officers found 2 victims in the street, a 14-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy. Their identities were not released. The girl was declared dead at the scene, and the boy was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. A brown 2005 Chevrolet Silverado found at the scene had extensive damage, and witnesses reported seeing a man and a child fleeing from it after the crash. Police identified the driver as 30-year-old Stetson Ibarro of Rowlett, based on evidence at the scene. Police believe Ibarro was driving east on East Oates Road at a high speed when he left the roadway and struck the 2 teenagers, as well as several parked cars near the intersection. And the road to the Alamo Dome was established late Sunday when the 68-team men's bracket was announced. The Texas Longhorns, just an hour up the road from San Antonio, were surprised to learn that they have been invited to make the trip, even if it's going to be a long one. Texas's first year in the Southeastern Conference proved to be much less daunting in football than it was in basketball, where the Longhorns and Oklahoma, the other newcomer, both finished 6-12 in league play. But after all 16 SEC teams were invited to play in the conference tournament in Nashville, the NCAA selection committee must have really liked what it saw there. Rarely have so many teams gathered to accomplish so little, as just 2 of the 16 SEC teams were omitted from the men's tournament bracket. Texas was the last of the 14 SEC teams to qualify, and it took a second victory over Texas A&M, which earned a 4th seed in the South region to land a bid. The Longhorns will square off with Xavier Wednesday night in a battle of 11 seeds, hoping to advance to Friday's game with Illinois in Milwaukee. SMU's NCAA tournament drought will last another year. The Mustangs were not selected to the 68-team field announced Sunday. Following the bracket announcement, SMU accepted a bid to the NIT, a 32-team single-elimination tournament, and will play Northern Iowa on Wednesday at Moody Coliseum. On the women's side, Texas snagged one of the 4 coveted 1 seeds after finishing the season with a 31-3 record and bringing home a share of the SEC regular season title. The Longhorns will play the winner of a first 4 game between High Point and William and Mary on Saturday at the Moody Center. TCU is also certainly not to be overlooked, as they earned themselves a 2 seed after taking home both regular season and Big 12 tournament titles. The Horned Frogs will host Fairleigh Dickinson Friday at Schollmeyer Arena. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.